Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Jay here, and today's going to be a slightly different video because I don't have a script and it's already 6 p.m. and I just want to get something out there. So today we're going to be playing with Xano, and I'm going to be doing user authentication and I guess authorization with pages. So just to make sure that users can access the pages they should or shouldn't. And yeah, I'm just going to showcase how I do that. I'm not going to really cut anything here. It's going to kind of be live, I guess. I'm not going to really cut anything. I'm, am going to apologize from now because I will blabber a lot, just so you're aware. So for the current setup, what we have so far is we only have 3 pages. We have dashboard, homepage, and a login page. For components, I am using my regular sort of template. So I do have a few components here, but the two that I created is just some for auth, being the login and the sign up, all using Xano. I only have one user in Xano. I already have the service already added here. So it's a basic setup. All we have is a component for login and registration, and then just the 3 pages. That's pretty much it. That's all we have. And we have just Xano already added as a service here with our authentication API group. So I'm assuming you kind of already know how to do these things, like how to build a login form and how to connect Xano to Nordcraft and stuff like that. So we're going to be continuing on from that point. So the way that I like to do user authentication and authorization with pages, I'm not sure what the right term is for that, but you kind of get what I'm saying, is I like to create a wrapper component for the type of page. So for example, typically in a lot of my projects, I have a public page, I have a private page, and I maybe have a dashboard page component. I'm not sure what those look like. So for example, I have a app public page, right? And this is where every single page that should be available to the public, like a blog or contact page or the home page, they're going to be wrapped with this component. And in this component, well, every single one of my pages has the app provider, which is what I use to wrap every single page of my component. They have the app provider, and this is what typically provides the background color, the text color, such like that. So like, for example, if I just do this really quickly, we can go ahead and change the background color to like a gray here. And then you see that it changes here as well. Add a slot, and the public page won't have any API calls or anything like that. It's just a public page and we don't check for authentication. Now, there might be cases where you do want to check for authentication even on public pages. Like if you have a nav bar and you want to show like maybe like a login or like a dashboard button, we can kind of get into that here. So to do that, what I would do, if I'm going to check for authentication on any page, on every page of the application, what I would do is I would come to my app provider here and I would add a attribute and I would name it protected, right? And this will be a Boolean value. For now, we'll say false. And this is what will basically protect the pages. And this is how I'm going to do that. So I am going to add a new API to this app provider, which again, remember, this wraps every single page of my application. I'm going to add a new API, and it's going to be the /auth/me endpoint in Xano, because this is going to check if we have a user or not. I'm going to go ahead and name this something like get user, something like this, or auth me, whatever you want to call it. And we're already passing the token, and I currently don't have a token, so it's giving me the invalid token because over here I don't have a cookie for it yet. So what I want to do here is I want to go to advanced, right? And I'm going to do a redirect rule. Now, a redirect rule, as it says here, is something that runs before the success or the failed events are triggered. And this is what I like. If you kind of want that server-side rendering look to where they don't even see the page, and just like if we're not authenticated and we try to access the dashboard, I would do a redirect rule because that is server-side rendered, and you won't see the page at all. It's going to take you directly to like the login page or something. So I'll show you how to set that up. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna say redirect rules. I'm gonna add a plus here, and we have to name it. I'm going to say redirect to login, and in here we're going to do a formula. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that if we get an error, if we get an error code, no matter what it is, from Xano, and let's see, and we do and protected. I want to do an if, and I'm going to have to copy this, put that there. Then we want to go to, say, the login page. Otherwise, we want to do null. So what's going to happen here is, let me say equals true, like that. There we go. So what's going to happen here is, say someone tries to access the dashboard and they're not currently authenticated, they're going to get an error code from this API response, right? And if also on that page we have protected being true, then we're going to immediately send them to the auth login. Otherwise, we're going to allow them through. So let's showcase an example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new, I already had the public page here. And this, in the public page component, I'm going to say protected is always going to be false because it's a public page. I never want it to be protected. But then let's go ahead and create a private page or something like that, or protected page. I forgot what I call it. Something like that. We're going to pass in that same app provider, but here protected is going to be true every single time. And you see it's already trying to redirect me. And then I'm just going to pass in the slot. So now where do we use these? So for example, now in my home page, this is where I would use the public page because I don't care if you're authenticated or not. I just want to have you be able to access this page. But for example, the dashboard page, this is where I would put like protected. I would typically have a specific dashboard page, but we're not going to do that for this video. I'm just going to do a protected page. Right now, let's see what happens when we try to access the dashboard page. Let me actually put some text and such here so we can actually see what's going on. This is the home page. Don't mind what I'm doing. I'm just doing some styling stuff. And then I'll just copy that and bring it over to the dashboard page, and we'll paste that. And we'll change this to dashboard. Okay, so I have two pages, as we see the home page and the dashboard page. So now let's see what happens. Here's the home page. Now let's try to see what happens when we try to go to the dashboard page. You're going to see that it immediately took us to the login page, which I should probably put something there so we can tell. This will be a public page. Let's say login. To refresh that. There we go. So you'll see now that if I try to access the dashboard page, I don't even see it. As you can see, I don't even see that dashboard text. Again, we can go again. See if you see it. We don't even see the dashboard text. That's because in the app provider, we did set up that redirect rule so that if there's an error and the page is protected, that we go straight to the auth or /auth /login page. Okay, now what if you have a user? Well, let me go ahead and let's just log in really quickly here, just so I can set my token. And I'll say log in. There we go. It tried to take me to the dashboard page. Now you can see since I'm logged in, we can now access the dashboard page. So now if we're, oops, what did I just do? So now if we are logged in with Xano, typically what I would like to do is on that same app provider page, I would then provide the, what's it called? The user via context that it can be used pretty much anywhere in the app. So we can say, let's have a variable for user, we null. And if we are successful, let me see, do we even, what does auth me return? Get record from user. Okay, since I'm logged in, I should, there we go. Yeah, so say I want to return, I want to have on every page access to this user record, right? So then I could say on success of the API, I want to set user to that information, right? Then we could have a formula for user that we want to expose in context. And then I'm going to set that to the user variable like so. So now on any page in this application, I have access to the user. Because like I said, this app provider goes on every single page of my application. So like in the dashboard, let's go ahead and let's create, I'll just create, I want to do this. Let's create a new component because remember to access the context, it has to be a component child. So let's go like UI dashboard and like welcome or something like that. I have it be a card and we're just gonna say hi and what am I doing? Text. We'll just say hi and their name. All right. So to get that context, we have to come over here to context. We have to find our provider, which is the app provider for me. You might have a lot of them. Just make sure you find the right one. That's going to be the app provider for me. And I'm going to subscribe to the user formula. So now here, I don't have a name field. So I'm just going to do user. And I know in user, let's see what we have in user. In user, we have the email. Let's just do the email. We're going to get email like so. So then if we refresh, I don't think I added it to the dashboard page. Welcome. Okay, hold on. What's going on here? We got user. Let me just see what we get from user here. Yeah, we get object. And then I should be able to get like the ID or something. Oh yeah, one. Did I just spell it wrong or something? Email. There we go. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't appearing earlier. I don't know if I spelled it wrong or something. But there we go. So now on this page, on the dashboard page, I can get access to the user, and it's kind of just like that. And yeah, that's basically all. That's how I do user authentication with Xano. If you have any questions, please leave a like, leave a comment on what your question is and what you'd like to see more of, and subscribe as we are trying to hit 50 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you next time. Happy building.